Go. Welcome. If you're scrolling by, go ahead and stop in and see this project I'm making. This is the cutest silk screen I've gotten. It is a family tree. I think it's really cute. So that's what our project is tonight, family tree. And I'm just cutting the pieces apart. We have several things that we're putting on the tree, around the tree, I should say. Okay, so there's a flower, and then you have these, there's 3 different sizes. You can use those as the center, or you can just put those in little sections around your tree. So there's small, medium, large of these little dots. We've got the flower. This is the name swag. So this is something I'm going to chalk, and then I'm going to use my chalk markers to put people's names on them. So there's that. And then this big banner that says our family. Got the our family and the tree. All right, so not too bad. 7 separate pieces. All right. I want a real quick write on the back of these. I mean, obviously I'm going to know which one's the tree. So if we number each of these pieces, then we'll be able to match them back up. And if I'm doing a chalk night and there's other people using this transfer, they'll be able to know which set they came from using the number code. Much easier than writing on the back of it, medium dot, large dot, small dot, whatever it is. And it's quicker too. The tree is numero uno. Okay. All right. So now these other parts, I don't need them right this second. So I'm going to go ahead and move these off to the side. And we will use them later. Okay. All right, so we are working on an 18-inch by 24-inch, and I can't get the whole thing in my view, but this is an 18 by 24-inch burlap stretched with the finishing tacks on them. These are kind of like a pewter look. It's kind of a soft gray, but it's really like, I don't know, it like feels like corduroy pants. I don't know, something like that. It's got like the deep grooves and grain in it. All right, so let's move that out of the way. So I've got to figure out my tree, which I kind of want up here a little bit. And then when it comes time, we'll put the little our family about right there. But I'll move my camera around so we can see. Right now, I think I need to go a little bit north just so you can see the details that I'm going to be working on of my tree. All right, so somewhere in there is where I'm going to have it. Okay, for some reason I'm losing my straightness here. Here we go. That's good. Let me move this cord a little bit. Maybe I can put it over this little bolt up there, and then it's not hanging in the way. All right, I think we're kind of good. Now, move my mouse. All right, if you have any questions or anything, any comments, you can go ahead and put those in, and I'm going to try to catch what I can. Right now, I am just adjusting my light because it's blinding me just a little bit. I think we got it. Okay, so I'm going to remove my backer sheet. I need to catch the edge of this. This is a brand new transfer, never used before. So I want to make sure, well, it wants to be really stuck there. There we go, I got it. Move this carrier sheet, I guess is the name for it, off the back of my sticky transfer. I'm gonna stick that in that right there. All right, so see how sticky this is? Very sticky. But because I'm working, typically I would fuzz this transfer so that it would be easier to take off of a chalkboard or a whiteboard. But because I'm using a fabric burlap covered board, I don't need to do that. And I want it to be really sticky for this board. So now we just have to arrange it thusly. Make sure I'm sort of kind of straight. Let's see how we're doing before I smooth it out and seal it down. That looks good. I believe it does. Does it look like it needs to go over to the left a little? Does it look straight with you, Mr. Producer? I just feel like a smidge over that way. And then that looks like it needs to go up right there. Maybe a little more. What is this obsession with having to have it so straight for? I don't know. We're getting there though. Somewhere about right there. I don't know why I'm being so picky. But see what that looks like. Yeah, I think we're going with that. All right, so I just want to make sure that the adhesive on the back of this silk screen is down on this fabric, nice and smooth. No wrinkles or bubbles. So I'm just kind of pressing it from the center out, smoothing it out. That looks pretty good. Once I have it down where I want it, I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I kind of want to get my bark done first and then kind of do leaves. And this is going to get really super messy because I kind of do this system of paste, pull it back, dry it to get all my sections in. Right, so this is my cloth for when we peel this back. All right, and then I want a good squeegee, probably something smaller. I think I'm going to use this one that I have cut in half. So I took I took one of these mini squeegees, and you see how it's, okay, so maybe it's about 2/3 of it. It's cut. It's cut so that I can get into details, get into littler areas, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with bark. Get a paper towel here. And we'll stick this guy right here. Give it a good stir, make sure we're good to go. Okay, and then for the leaves, I have two greens I'm going to mix a little. One's pesto, and I know that that one is a unique green. I think that it will be fine. That one's pesto. So it's a little bit of like an olive color. It's good though. It's good. And then we're going to use, this one is called Green Envy, but it is also the color green that replaces it. It's called Meadow, and they're pretty much almost identical, if not the same color. So these are our colors that we're using, and we're going to have a different squeegee for the leaves than we will for the bark. That way we don't have trouble. We don't run into any trouble. All right, so I think we're good there. Okay. All right, we are ready. Ready to go. Get a little of my chalk paste here, and I'm just going to go through and get these stems up here in this corner. Now, remembering that sometimes the chalk paste in hot weather, in humid weather, will dry really super fast. I know this, and so I want to be pretty thorough and dry in between. Does that make sense? Because I don't want it to dry in the screen and cause chalk paste to come up when I peel it back. Okay, now let's try this green mixture. So I'm going to put a little bit here, get a little bit of this pesto, just something to kind of tone it down a little. And then we're going to go in to our leaves. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Okay, let's get that dry so we can move on. I'm going to move these down. Okay, just going to get underneath this, pull it back, dry it good, and then we'll stick it back down. Once you're sure it's dry, you can stick it back down. And I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. So again, smoothing it out, making sure you've got it no air bubbles or anything, especially the areas you haven't chopped yet. You want to just make sure those areas are down. Oops, that's okay. Kind of smeared that. It's okay. Luckily, I smeared green into a leaf area, so that's all right. That wasn't too horrific. Okay, now let me wipe my hand off. Okay, so this green color that I made, I'm going to put a little bit more pesto. This green envy, I want more of that. So let me just cover some right there. I need a different squeegee because I got that one all yucky. All right, so let me just kind of stir this around a bit. Yeah, a little bit better. We want to make sure we are covering that leaf and getting all the way up against the bark. And this burlap definitely absorbs quite a bit of paste. So if you're trying to conserve, this is not the project to try to conserve color. You're going to go through a bunch. I've done a couple of these burlap boards. They're just thirsty fabric, really. All right, let me get some of this excess. Smooth all that out. Depending on your family, maybe you guys have a color, a flag, or some kind of a family, what the heck do you call them? They're not shields. What the heck is it called? You know what I'm talking about. They're like the family little, like kind of like not a flag, but I don't know. We had one on my mom and dad's mantle. What the heck are they called? I just can't think of it. Anyway, if you have certain colors, you might want to add those colors for your flower or whatever. I'm going to put this down here. I'm relocating my leftover green for down here. Okay. Let's try to do a few more leaves, even though I haven't done the bark down here, just to use this up real quick. And then we'll mix a new batch. I'm kind of a messy artist. You might find a different way to apply to this tree all these details, but I'm open for suggestions. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's pause and dry this area again. Oh my gosh, those leaves are gorgeous. All right, let's dry all the areas we touched. So I think it's showing up really nicely on this light gray burlap. I was a little bit unsure in the beginning, not sure what it would look like, and I'm happy with the results. So no worries there as I'm moving stuff over and knocking things off my table. So just get these dry. They shouldn't take too long. Sorry for the noise. I think we're pretty good. Okay. We're going to put this back down and touch up our branches here. Get our branch color going.
You see your comments?
Hi, Bobby. Welcome, welcome. I'm in the midst of doing this family tree. I love this transfer. I'm so excited to do it. So excited. So right now, yeah, it does take up most of my table, honey. You're right. It does, but that's okay. It's a labor of love right now for my family. So it's worth it. Being a little bit squished over here working. I just thought this would be a really cool one to do. Been wanting to do it ever since this transfer came out. So now you can make your leaves and your branches whatever kind of tree you want. You could do a birch tree and do it on a, and maybe put it on a chalkboard, or do even it would be cool to like do it on a white background or a wooden, distressed wooden kind of a background. No, I can see right there. Cool. Names go on it. Yes, if you want to do pictures, you can. I'm going to do all the way to the part where the names go on. And then I have some chalk markers that are a new thing to our business. They just came out. When this transfer came out, basically, the markers came out too as an option for people to use. So you could literally either use the white or the black marker, depending on what you make the little banner thingies with the names. I think I'm doing white, and then I'll use the black chalk marker to put their names on. But I love this big gray burlap board. It's my favorite new surface, other than the pumpkin cutouts and the tree cutouts for Christmas. So don't worry about like any little blemishes. You can always go back and do a touch up with a paintbrush or a Q-tip or a skinny little trimmed piece of squeegee. I think those are pretty dry. I decided to do sort of kind of a traditional tree. I think that's good. So let me get this all stuck back down nice and straight. So we're lined up. All right, let's do. Yeah, you could. That is possible, Andy. For sure. That is a possibility. And I thought this burlap would be really cool to do pictures on because it's fabric, and I think you could probably do tacks or a push pin or something to put them in, because it's solid and it has like a little wooden thing base to it or a frame to it, so it might be kind of cool. Oops. Good thing I splashed it in the right zone. All right, we're getting there. Did I get everything? Sort of. I think I did. Dun, dun, dun. All right. All right, let's peel this back to dry it. Oh yeah, I even thought about putting this directly on the wall, Bobby. I've seen some of those and they're really cool. That's awesome. I've always seen those murals and always wanted one. I saw a really cute picture that one of our other designers used, and she did a long board that was skinny, so maybe like 8 inches um, wide and like 24 inches longer or more. And she just did the word family. And then she did part of this tree on an edge of it. And she did all of that like black and white theme. And then on the bottom of the board, she screwed in little cup hooks along the bottom edge. And she took our chockable chips and punched, like used that crocodile to punch holes through them. And each of the little 3-inch circles were all the grandkids and kids' names. It was so adorable. I love it. So that's even a really cute idea of something different to do that's kind of like thinking outside the box. It was adorable. They do have chockable chips. You want me to show a chockable chip?
Yeah.
I can show a chockable chip. So we have these things called chockable chips. And right now, I'm trying to look for my loose ones here there. Okay, so they come in a 12-pack. So I have white ones that I punched holes in, and I have the black ones. So they come in white and black. Ta-da! So she had, I believe it was the white ones all the way across the bottom, and then she just did everybody's names with the chalk markers. It was so adorable. I just love that idea. I love learning what other people do, and it was so cute. It really was. All right, gotta finish my leaves. This is a brand new transfer, so mega sticky on the bottom, which is helping me a lot right now for this project because I can get it smoothed out and on there good. Okay. And I got chalk paste on my hands again. Okay, back to the green mixing. All right, let's do pesto and some green envy. Back to our squeegee. I like this pesto, and it just kind of a little bit tones down this green envy. Gives it a really pretty leaf color. Goodness, that looks good. Running out of my mixture a little bit already. So we'll stop halfway and dry these once I run out. That is it. Okay. Oops. All right, we're going to peel that up and dry it real quick. All right, got a little bit of a cluster of leaves down here to go. Okay. Okay, here we go. I know I am totally concentrating too much to talk more. So almost done with these leaves, and then we're going to have a part 2 to this. This is a multi-step. Again, I would call this probably a level 3 just because of all the parts to it. So I'll show you how this all shakes out. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I am not seeing, okay, hold on, let me see. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, I think it does look great. All right, let's peel this all off, and then if I have any touch-ups, I can do those right now. Stick this tree in my water over here. So definitely on something lighter colored like this gray, the darker colors are going to show up better. So when you're thinking of colors to do, definitely want to go like medium to dark, and then that will show up. It's kind of more high contrast. And then I'm going to touch up in a couple areas real quick before we move on to the next part. All right, so we have a couple of the areas in the bark where it just didn't stick to like it made a little bit of a spot there. Just want to make sure I touch that up. It kind of looks like the branch is broken right here. It's not, but it looks like it. And then just if you want to, you can make that connection between the leaf and the bark a little bit more natural looking by just adding a little bit of a either like a stem kind of looking thing here. I like my fine point paintbrush for this. It lets you get those little details. I don't use it for all my projects, but there's a couple where I like it. Yeah, you definitely don't want your leaves to look like they're floating off of the tree. So if you forget a stem area, just go back with your brush. That one looks like it's floating. I think we're pretty good. That's good. This one, yeah, I think I tried to, in a couple areas, I was just a little bit further back where I put the leaf on and it didn't look like it was attached to that branch. I think that looks good. All right, I'm gonna stop fussing with the bark, I think. One more spot. That's good. Okay, any green areas? Maybe just a little. I see a spot here. Oops. Like, got too much water in that one. Any other ones? So, let's see here. Right there. I think that's good. All right. All right, let's just dry. Watch the sound here. A little bit of hair dryer on top. I got it. Huh? Could you apply a little silver or yellow in those leaves that have the lines in them? You know, that is a good idea. I don't know if silver will show up because this is already gray, but yellow, you could probably do that for sure. I have to decide which yellow though. Let's see. Got multiple. I just am seeing spots that I want to fix constantly. Right here. So when you work on something that is fabric, the only downfall is just making sure that it left a solid mark, because it's really easy for it to not be solid on it. Okay. So what were you thinking, Bobby? Were you thinking which yellow would you do in between those? I have bumblebee yellow, which is kind of almost like a light orange yellow, and then I have like a tint of it. But I do also have kind of a yellowish green color. That might brighten it up. What were you thinking? What sounds good to you? All right, I just want to close some of these other pastes that I'm not working with so that we can kind of get them out of the way. The pale, okay. Let's see what that looks like. I think I'll apply it with my paintbrush because that might work better. All this paper towel everywhere. Stick that back there. Let's stir this up. Okay. What I just do with my operator. Let's see what a little bit of that looks like. I don't know if my brush is thin enough to do that line. I don't know. What do you think? That is kind of, I'm not sure. Let me look for my other, I have another paintbrush that I like, but I gotta find it. Another skinny one that I like to use. Here it is. Yes, I have mixed colors, and I'm really happy with the leaf color that I got today. I'm actually really happy. But I'm not happy with this yellow here. That's the only thing. I don't know if it will let me take it off or not. It may, before it gets dry on there. I really, really, really liked the pesto color, and I wanted to do the leaves pesto. But then as I started going through and doing it, I did not like the pesto straight the way it was. So the pesto and the other green I was using, I'm really happy because you can see, I mean, you can't, but I can see the variegated colors through the leaves that it made by mixing them that way. Really quite happy with it. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to do these little flowers, and I'm just going to kind of put them in a couple places, just maybe 3 or 4 of them. Not by any means anything all over. And I have a really pretty, I'm kind of doing jewel tones. So I'm going to use this Regal blue. Just have to give it a quick stir. This is one of my fairly new colors. So again, going with the theme of jewel tones and a little bit darker. I know I could have done darker on my leaves, but I'm good with what I got here. All right. Okay. So this is going to be a pop of color. It's absorbing really fast. Super duper fast. Okay. It looks more like a nut, like a buckeye or something. For sure. Let's put one up here.
You're kind of on a mixing colors.
Yep. Are you missing part of it, honey? Okay. Oops, that leaf did not completely fill in. Oh, darn it. Shoot. Yep, I'm trying to do this quickly so that I don't lose time here. So we don't get a dried screen. We don't want that silk screen to have dried anything right now. Very pretty. Okay. This is my last one. Okay, that was a really, really dark color. All right, in the water that one goes. Let's dry our flowers. I'm just noticing this one up here didn't completely go solid on me. Those edges are a little bit more. I just want to get that touched up, and then this petal didn't quite. So the more you use a transfer and not wash it between, the more you risk the chalk paste drying in the screen. And that's why these later ones were not solid. Okay, I suppose I can fix these later before I take my finished project picture. Okay, that looks good. Kind of is. Any drops of water on there. That one did not have a good edge right there. I don't know if I'm being too picky, but there, that looks good. My brush right there. Okay. All right, let's dry this. So you can do a whole tree full of blooms if you want it to be like that. That is a-okay. Okay. All right, so our next transfer, we're going to do a few of these dots, and there's this is kind of like color suggestion. So I'm going to do a couple of these dots in a couple spots all over, and I'm doing them in this regal color, which is kind of like a plum. Ooh, that's really super thick, so let me thin it down before we get going here. Regal, it's a really pretty purple. That is really thick. It's really hot up here today, so that could be partly why my paste is not cooperating that well. Okay, so I'm going to do some of these regal dots in a couple places around the whole exterior of the tree, just to add a little punch. And I'll be using it again in another part of this. Ooh. It's already starting to a little bit act. Oops, I just put my knuckle in that one. So just kind of around the perimeter. One more up here. More right here. Okay. That one's going in the water. All right. Now back to using the paintbrush, because I totally put my knuckle in that one up there. Not need to do that. So cute. Okay, once I dry these, we'll go to the next size. Okay, there's that. Now, there are 2 more dots that you can use and put some other colors in there. And I am just trying to think right now if I even need to do that. I really like the purple and the blue, but I don't know if I'll like putting a 3rd color. And I did not pick one out other than lighter colors of the same. So I'm looking, trying to think about what I have, what I would want to do. It's like a major thing. All right, so let's go with our next piece. So I can always think about this. All right. So this part, our family. Let's see. Stick my carrier sheet over there. All right, so this part. Let's check this way. That looks pretty good. All right, now I'm going to pull one of those colors down. All right, so we need to move our camera a little bit this way to where I'm at. Just going to move down a little. Just a little bit of an earthquake thing going on right now. Okay. So this little swag that goes down here says our family. And I'm just trying to eyeball it to see if I have it straight. Since it's new, it's got really good stick. Let's see. Is that kind of good? It's really hard to tell. That part's good. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. Needed to check with my tape measure. Oh, okay, so now you just want to make sure your sticky adhesive backing is down and there's no gaps, bubbles, or wrinkles. And I think I am going, hey honey, would you want blue, for it to be blue like the flowers that are in it? This little swag at the bottom? Or do you think the purple dots that I have? I know, that's a hard one, right? What do you think? Huh?
Purple might be a little too much.
Okay.
It's soft. It's soft palette.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Color purple.
Well, it's the color that I did these little dots with, but not sure. I'm kind of thinking go with the blue. Huh?
That's why.
Do you? That is what you think? Yeah, because that was a really pretty blue. All right, I'm going to get my, this is small, but see how it's kind of like the width? Small squeegee. We got good width here. All right, so I'm just going to start at this end and try to get as much as I can on here because it is thirsty fabric.
It's good if it's not your crazy red.
Well, I just don't know if it'll go with our.
What's your purple? Crazy red purple?
What now?
What's your? I can't remember the name of purple. That's really.
Are you talking about grape soda?
Yeah, grapes. Not that.
Be a royal, go purple, she said. Uh-oh. I didn't read that comment before I picked out the blue. I'm in big trouble now. Maybe that is why in the catalog they have purple, a purple color for that. That might be why. All right. Smoothed it out. Now we just have to peel. It's really wanting to stick to this burlap. Yay, that turned out good. All right. Okay. Get that in the water. Now, if I ever do this transfer on my wall, I will definitely think of purple. Supposedly, my older sister says that we're related to the royal family in England. We are, I don't know what she said. It's something like, all I can tell you is I did not get invited to either wedding. So it must be distant enough cousins that they don't know about us. Isn't that funny? Make my letter A, the center of my A did not stick very well. I think that looks really good. Okay, definitely goes well with those flowers. Cool, cool. All right, so now let's put this away. So yes, you can get as crazy as you want to, and seriously, like these dots, you could make this a cherry tree, you can make it an apple tree, you can make it all in bloom like a spring looking tree, which all would be really cool. Oh, that's awesome, Bobby. You had dinner with my cousins. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what side it is. Like, is it the queen or is it the duke? I don't even know. I'd have to ask for more details. But so we have, and it's through our Norwegian connection that during wars and whatnot, that somehow they ended up in the England area, or they were split up, different family members in Great Britain and some of them in Scotland, and all during that really extenuating circumstances. And my husband's mother's side of the family is related to John F. Kennedy's family, but it's way, way back. It's kind of like a brother and a sister. So it would have been like a grandmother and the grandmother, like, I don't know how many generations. It's a whole sheet of paper. That's what I can tell you. That's how far back it is that they're related. And it's the Fitzgeralds, not the Kennedys, but the Fitzgerald side. It's neat, though, to find all that stuff out. And he's related to from the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's Clark that he's got on his family tree. And boy, did they have it rough back then. I tell you what, lost so many family members to encounters with the Native American people back then. There just was fighting and war back and forth between the two sides. I mean, rightfully so. Everybody wanted the same land, so it was definitely, that is. Okay. All right, so now we're moving on to these. And I've got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. So I've seen where people put married couples, boom, 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 boom. But I was just going to do my kids and my husband and I. So that's 5 of these. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. And do I do our last name also? Or should that be? I got to think this through. So in order to be able to do the pictures, I want them in certain areas. All right, let me try this out. It's hard to tell if I'm straight. Really hard to tell. Okay, we are, man, that does not look straight. I keep putting it on and I keep thinking it's straight. It's not. I think that's good right there. Looks crooked in my video too. It's really hard to work on something that is this long in front of you. It's really hard to see. All right, so if I did, what, Andy? What is it? It's the thing that our names go on. Okay. First names, like Beth, like Andrew, like that. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect except for just that I want it to be perfect. Okay. All right, stirring up white paste over here to get this just right. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that too, Bobby. I think that it would be neat to put he and I here. But then we have 3 children, so I thought, do I put like the oldest and then like stair step it down? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like you could do the oldest, the middle, the youngest, and father and mother. What do you think? Are you talking like right down here? Like do that would be far enough away that we could do, because I don't want them too close, because if I do the picture part, yes, that's what, is that what you're saying?
And then
put the kids
at
in the tree.
low-hanging fruit, or
The
something.
low hanging fruit. That is
But anyhow,
not.
and then if you have grandkids, you can put them above. I mean, obviously, so,
You can redo something
right,
for that.
but just for your immediate abstract, they're not like your whole genealogy.
Oh my gosh, we wouldn't have
No.
enough chalk paste in the world for my genealogical tree. That's funny. Okay, why did I pick that size squeegee? That was too big, and now I can't smooth it out very good. I gotta get a little one here. Okay, that's better. All right, let's see. I'm probably gonna have to do a couple of these and then wash this out and start again. I don't think I'm gonna get all five. Okay, that's all right. Like I said, this is really absorbent of the chalk paste, so go through quite a bit. Oh, shoot. All right. Let me wash it out. It's already drying. Transfer. It's a tricky thing, this white chalk paste. So the best thing to do is wash it in between. Dry it real good so you don't have that issue. All right, I'm going to push this away for a second. So I can. Okay, off screen, just drying this so that we can use it again. All right, what do I do with my other brush? Okay, I'm gonna go in here with my paintbrush. It was not gonna cooperate with me to do it, to use that silk screen 2 times in a row. After I got it dirty with the paste, it dried all the way around these edges. So now I have little holes on it that I'm trying to fill in, which you could kind of like let it dry and then chalk over it again, but it might make it look different than the other side. Oh. Crazy. Okay, we're getting there. there. We're getting there. Goodness. That looks good. Most of the dots are filled. Okay. All right, let's dry both of these. And get it off my fuzzcloth. Put it on there to dry it, and then it's like stuck to it really good. Wow. Okay, I think about there. And then my white chalk paste gets a little bit, it goes too long setting in the air, open air, it will start to get thicker. So it's always best to stir in between so you know you've got good paste to work with. Now we're going over branches and leaves. So I'm not sure if this will be thick enough to cover it well. Crossing my fingers. Okay. All right, let me see what that looks like. That's pretty good. All right, so let's wash that again. We're going to do the whole process over. Yeah, I know. I'm just realizing that. You said it right as I'm realizing I'm not seeing it. Okay. Get that nice and dry. Okay. There's two. Okay, or a little fruit fly or something. I'm sure what that was. Seems like those fruit flies are bad right now. This is the time of year where they're just, I don't know what you call them, or some people call them drain flies. They're just everywhere. Everywhere, annoyingly. Okay. Now, not to be picky about distance or anything. Gosh, how far apart did I do those? 2 quarters, so I could go a little bit. Somewhere in there. About. Looks good. Like it.
I'm trying to make it symmetrical.
What now?
I said you're too symmetrical. I would make it like offset random.
You would make it random? Really? To each his own. To each his own, my dear. Okay, let's dry this up and see where we are. Okay, now here we are so far. So these are our Couture chalk markers, and the black one is the one we're going to use. I can get the plastic off of it. Sometimes they're like completely covered in plastic. Okay, let's find out to test it on. Paper towel, maybe. Shaking this marker and priming it. This is the black one, right? It's coming down. It's just taking it a little bit here. Okay, it's kind of a wide, so it is that thick. And I'm thinking that that means that's how wide the letters are going to be. I don't know if it's going to fit everybody's name. Like I have an Andrew and a Matthew and a Joseph and a Rebecca. That's a lot of letters. I don't know if it's going to show. I want to put their formal first names. I'm hoping I have room to do it that way. So we're going to wing it here, people. We're going to try to do their formal name. Don't bump the table, Andy. Or your name is Mud.
Both.
Okay, got it. I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see what I'm doing? Probably too far away, huh? Let's try coming in a little bit closer. Everything's, I don't have to tighten up. When your equipment starts to go awry. Okay, I'm getting there, but it's like performing surgery right now. What if I don't like the marker look? Well, I'm having all kinds of issues. Well, I can say first off, I don't like the marker. I'm having one heck of a time getting it to write on this paste. So I keep trying to prime it, but it's okay. That is how far I've got. And I'm getting a whole bunch of fuzz too. I'm wondering if just using my paintbrush and black chalk paste might actually work better. But guys, I don't like it. Okay, so that's it for this video because I am not going to work on this marker, I don't think. I'm going to have to take my after picture later. This might be one of those times where we're going to leave it and possibly go over it with a Sharpie marker or something. Something that I don't have to necessarily keep priming, because that is proving to be a little bit frustrating for me. So by all means, love and share this video as much as you'd like. You have my permission. Please go on to YouTube also to Beth's Classy Chalking and like and share that and subscribe. If you are interested in being a customer and would like to make some of these pieces for yourself, just put in the comments, add me, and I will add you to my customer VIP group. If you're interested in doing the club Couture, which is a transfer of the month club that's only exclusive for club members, comment club. And if you'd like to do what I'm doing and you would like to try making products and taking them to craft shows and having chalk nights in your home or going into other people's homes if you would like, any interest at all, just comment, join, and I will send you the link and you can check that out. So thank you so much for watching. I will post my finished pictures tomorrow of this and see you then. Bye for now.